All right, all right. I think we are live. Yeah, I like the dancing. I like the dancing a lot. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dan Duran. Welcome back to Get Cyber, the podcast where we dive into ethical hacking, penetration testing, and all things cybersecurity. I am your host, Dan Duran, and today we got a special episode lined up for you guys because we love you. Joining me are the brilliant minds behind Hacktoria who are crafting salud who
So,
are crafting story-driven capture the flag events that make cybersecurity training engaging and unforgettable. Let's explore their approach to OSINT challenges, gamified training, and how they're reshaping cybersecurity education. We have Joaquin Iglesias bringing a wealth of experience in digital forensics, education, criminal psychology, and cybersecurity. Joaquin creates CTFs for all the major CTF providers. He's a serial founder, developer, and CTO of Hacktoria. Hello, Joaquin. How are you doing today?
hello, all good, all good. And you, Duran? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. And we have Frank
Nice.
Diepmaat. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Frank Diepmaat, military intelligence and IT sysadmin background. Frank has been launching startups for the past decades, all while working full-time jobs. Recently switched to growth marketing. Frank is a commercial and creative brain of Hacktoria. Hello, Frank. How are you?
Hi, Dan. Nice to meet you and happy to be on your show here.
Fantastic. It's a real pleasure to have you guys here on the show. We're going to be looking into OSINT and the cool stuff that you guys are doing. We have people on the chat. Let's see if we have people on the chat. All right. So let's see. Nobody on the chat yet. I don't see anybody on the chat. I think we have a little problem in there. Hello. Let me just say hello. We should have a lot of people in there. YouTube doesn't support. All right, that's a matter. Okay, anyways, let's get on with the show, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a few questions for you. First of all, who are you and what got you into OSINT in the first place? Maybe Frank, you can answer that question while I check the stuff in here on the background. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So for me, my OSINT journey really started a little bit before Hectoria. Was looking into some new hobbies and kind of discovered capture the flags and using OSINT. My original idea for this actually was to go and do like scam baiting, like people like scam baiters are doing. But then turned out that making capture the flag exercises was much more interesting. So then I figured like, hey, why not combine something more creative like storytelling and stuff with capture the
Nice.
flag and OSINT, and that turned into Hectoria eventually.
That's fantastic. So I'm listening from or I'm hearing from my admin here, and they're posting challenges. I mean questions. They're posting questions on YouTube, and for some reason they're not showing up here in the
Mm-hmm.
chat. I don't know what is going on in here. So my apologies for that. I guess we're going to have a closed circuit stream for today. Let me see if I can do a couple of things here. I don't know why this is failing on me. Let's see. Yeah, they're posting questions. I'm so sorry, guys. For some reason, this is not working for me today. All right. So, Joaquin, can you
Mm-hmm.
explain what OSINT is in simple terms, and if we have people here that are new to it?
Mm-hmm. Well, OSINT is open source intelligence. That's the acronym. OSINT for me is like being a detective, but instead of using secret spy tools and stuff like that, you just gather information from public sources, things that anyone can access. So that's OSINT for
Okay.
me.
Okay. Perfect. Amazing. So, like things. What kind of stuff? What are we talking about? Social media information? Are we talking about
You can So you can take a lot of information from social media to CCTV to you can use tools like Shodan to check for public IPs. You can do a lot of stuff with OSINT. And generally speaking, the people always start with some geolocation because it's the simplest. We can say that is the simplest to start. And then from geolocation, you go to OSINT on social media. Then you use tools like Google Docs and stuff like that to check for um, some URL or information more. What is I'm looking for more specifically for one thing.
Nice, 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 nice. What if, Frank, maybe you can answer this question. What are some of the cool stuff or mind-blowing investigations that you have worked on OSINT?
Well, not so much right now for investigations, but the in terms of the challenges that we've recently made. For me, at least, the highlight was actually the second CTF we ever put together with Hacktoria. It's called Operation Runner, where people had to. There was basically this criminal that was on the run from Russia. He went to Argentina. Did then just drop off. Well, let's continue. I'm sure he'll rejoin his own stream in a bit. So it was pretty
Welcome
cool.
to our
We had
show.
this,
Oh my God.
welcome
Yeah.
back to your own stream. There's,
Yeah. Continue on, please.
yeah, so we basically had people follow the daughter who was having like bad OPSEC on Instagram. She was posting like pictures of their trip in Argentina. And what was cool about it, we actually have a friend in Argentina who gave us some of her like holiday pictures that she never posted anywhere. So it really matched up to real events that someone did in Argentina. But then we used it for this group, and then people had to track them down, figure out where the location was, and they would send in this sort of like ground team, this tactical
Nice.
team. So they would have to give us the location, and if they got it wrong, they would have to wait 24 hours. So you continuously had people who were like in the lead, and then they fell back again. And in the end, they tracked them all through South and Central America. It was really cool, and
wow.
it had a big prize attached to it. So for me, that was one of the most fun CTFs we ever did.
Oh, that's crazy. That's amazing. You were telling me something about peas today before this stream. Can you please enlighten us of what's going on, what kind of game, what's happening with the peas? And I see that Joaquin is laughing a bit in there. Tell us more about the peas.
Yeah, well, if he can collect himself a little bit, but we can give it a go. You
I'm
want to
gonna
try?
have to mute you, Joaquin. What's going on?
Sorry. Okay, Frankie, you can go with this.
Yeah, so well, we like to basically make challenges a lot of fun, and we can make very serious stuff. We have a B2B side as well. That is, of course, we can go very serious. But for the community, we try to keep it light, and we come up with some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's chasing aliens around the planet, and in this case, it was an April Fool's CTF we did last year, where basically we embedded these tiny emojis of penises in images everywhere, and people had to geolocate where they were going, and that was it was called the PP Kun April Fools. And it's still a meme in the Discord server. People still know it. We use the emoji. So if people want something fun to do, that's definitely one of them.
Okay. So all kinds of content you can do OSINT CTF challenges, all kinds of content. I see that. Okay, so let's talk about Hacktoria in itself. So let me just share my screen with the people in there. And apologies for some reason I can't seem to fix this thing. It seems like we're not going to have any comments today, but that's okay. People will still enjoy your show. So I'm here on Hacktoria. As you can see, this is the website. And you have services for business, for individuals, and then I'm here on your immense Discord server. This is crazy, guys. You guys are doing such an amazing job. Tell me a little bit about Hacktoria. Maybe Joaquin, you can answer this question. Why should somebody join Hacktoria?
Well, Hacktoria is a safe space for everybody who wants to learn not only OSINT, but yes, cybersecurity. We kind of like do a mixture of OSINT and the fear and some challenges of pen testing here. So here they can find challenges from newbie to hard and insane challenges for more expert people. We are not following the rule of doing a conventional story like the typical CTFs where you just do 3 or 4 lines and that's it. Here on Hacktoria, we are trying to give life to our challenges, so it is more fun. So one of the things that I can say why you should join Hacktoria is because you're going to have fun in here, you have fun people in here, and man, the challenges are just Uh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I imagine. How many people do you have on your server right now?
1.6K, something like that now.
Oh wow, there's a lot of people. So what I'm doing, guys, so you know, I'm going to be posting a chat in here. In the chat, I'm going to be posting the other alternative channel that we have from Rhino Cybersecurity that's also broadcasting live. So maybe you can go in there and oh my God, guys, we have so many people commenting. And okay, Diego, he's sending me all the comments in here. Maybe you can see my screen. We have some comments. So these are just some of the shots that we're getting. We have from Eduardo Escalante. He says hello. Boris says hello. Elizabeth, good day, everyone. We have
Hello.
Sonia. She says happy Friday. Great way to end the week. Thank you so much. And we have some Chute. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, Chute. We have Mid SF. We have Andrew Samerton, my dear friend Andrew Samerton. He is the CEO of Rhino Cybersecurity. Kudos to you, Andrew, and a big shout out for you. We have Bright, we have Diego Macastrion, of course, on the line. We also have other people, Alpha Tech. We have Leroux.
Oh,
It's
Vance.
people here. Yes. So this is from your channel, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Our co-founder.
Diego,
Hey,
thank you
Vance.
so much. You want to send a shout out? Send a shout
Yeah.
out, Joaquin.
Shout out to Vance. Vance, how you doing, man? Hang in there. I know that you're working hard.
He's working hard. Absolutely. So Diego is sending me the screenshots so we can answer some of the questions. So Diego, maybe you can send me screenshots of actual questions that people have so we can answer them like this. This is so like 1990s, but that's okay. You know, we can get through. Okay. So we have a question from Diego. He's asking, and in case criminals are smart enough to not share information on social media, how do you get them? How do you get criminals? This question is for Frank. How can you get criminals to not get information from social media? I guess he's talking about privacy. How can you protect yourself?
Well, I think mostly when you figure out a crime has been committed or something went, not according to plan somewhere, there's always some sort of entry point or some touch point where someone did something. And that's always a place where you start. And you can start sort of piecing together with whatever information you have, for example. What I see a lot of our more experienced community members who are really good at solving things who also help in, for example, like trace labs, finding actual missing people. A lot of the times what they will start off with things that they know for certain that they can get from, the information there. For example, let's say somebody left, a footprint somewhere. They can say for certain, this was a male shoe. It's this size, it's that. And then they make assumptions. For example, like we assume that this happened before there was rain because we can see that it is washed away. So
wow.
Before, so people start basically going on like, what do I know and what do I assume? Like recently we saw someone try to solve a CTF where they had a river in the background.
Yeah.
And they were going to go like, okay, I see a lot of ships here, so I'm going to assume this is near a port. And judging by, like where what the rainforest looked like, they were like, we think this is in northern Brazil, so we're going to look for cities that have ports and large rivers in northern Brazil. So they take these assumptions and then they try to deduce further and further and start digging from there. So there's always something. I mean, if there's nothing, if there's no crime, if there's nothing, then you don't even know what happened. So there's always something, and from there you start with facts and you start with assumptions, and then you just work your way in.
Wow, you're taking an entire kind of forensic approach and theory into all of these CTFs, aren't you guys?
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point. And the nice balance is that we can literally make people chase a fictional alien around the planet, and they will still learn vital skills. So a lot of people always, they try to pretend that they work for the CIA or something. And we're kind of the opposite of that. We're just like, we're going to pretend it's a comedy show for James Bond, but what you learn is real.
I got a question here from Marlon Kaya. He asked, in the Discord channel, they do something like cybersecurity role-playing games, and what rewards do they give to people? That's a very good question, Marlon. I appreciate that question. So maybe Joaquin, what kind of rewards do you give to people for those events that you do?
Well, if you play one CTF, let's just say the CTF practice labs that we have on Discord, you will get a shiny badge if you complete it. Those badges were originally a card. Hacktoria started with cards prior to the badges, but we kind of like left the cards for the special events, like the event that we're doing now, like La Profecía, that
Mhm.
is an OSINT and the free challenge. But yes, that's what they can get, a shiny badge made from Frank. Frank is the creative mind making the badges
That,
for
Peter,
you.
that's your question answered, Marlon. So if you participate in these in these challenges, what you get is honor, man. You get honor. That's what counts. It's honor and those badges on your chest. That's what counts, man. You start growing in the community, right? So
Mhm.
it's all about the leaderboards and stuff, right? So I have a question from Oladapo Kabir Afolabi. He says, "Hello, Dan. Thanks for the good work and the willingness to help cybersecurity enthusiasts like us understand the field better. I was on the live last week and I showed interest in the co-op opportunity. Yeah, so we see that co-op opportunities in Rhino cybersecurity. You can apply. Send in your resume and your information to info@rhino.io, and we'll take care of that from there. So thank you for your kind words, Oladapo. All right. So tell me a little bit about your Discord channel, how fast it's grown over the last little bit, and what you think is the success for that exponential growth, guys. Maybe Frank, you can answer this question.
yeah, sure. So, not that long ago, we were taking a very conventional approach to CTF. We had all the challenges on the website, but we kind of figured there was sort of no reason to do that because we didn't need people to log in. So it was kind of confusing. Like half of the stuff was on the website, half of the stuff was in Discord. So we took a
Mm,
completely different approach. We were like, you know what? Let's pretend the Discord server is the website. Like all the functionality for the community should be in one place. And so we pulled everything, all the challenges into Discord, all the stuff, all the scoreboards, um, and that really boosted growth and actually gave people a reason to be in Discord other than to just join it and sometimes say something. It's really come alive. So we're growing about 20 people a day now. Previously, that was
nice.
like two or three, and recently it got up to like 20 or sometimes 30 per day. Um, and people actually have stuff to do now, and it's all in the Discord server, so you don't have to basically like leave it. Like the
Yes.
challenges are there, all the stuff, the 24/7 challenges are in there, support is in there. So that's kind of the approach we took now. And this is just the landing page, the website. It's for businesses to come in contact with us or for people to
Okay.
find the Discord server.
How can businesses find you out? What you guys? What is it different from your personal individual type of competitions to businesses? Is it more strategic or planned, or is it a program? How does it work? Maybe Joaquin, you can answer that.
Oh no, the man of business is Frank. Sorry,
Oh, okay. I'm
he
sorry,
can
Frank.
explain
Frank,
more.
you can answer that
I was
question.
just like, well, let's see what comes out. But so our current
Dodging
offer,
the bullet.
we have four different things going on. We either make just single challenges. So also for other CTF platforms, some of the stuff you might play on other platforms is actually made by us. Um, so we have single challenges. We are developing our own platform as
Hmm.
well. And then we also do kind of this concierge setup, which is where you basically get your own platform from somewhere else, usually like CTFD, and
Yeah.
then we set it up for this company. And our strength is really like working with their team to build challenges that are completely unique to them. So we can come up with a completely like fictional adversarial organization that is based on real threats, that interacts with all levels of their organization. So their support staff will get social engineering attacks, the red team will actually get people trying to breach, and we can create this whole sort of set of challenges that matches exactly what they're doing, and their staff will feel like they're actually James Bond while they're doing it.
Nice. That's awesome.
But
That's
because so much of this security training is just lame. You get this video, you sit there for 15 minutes while you're on your phone, and then it's like, we're secure. And it's like, no, you're not. So that's basically our approach. Make it interactive, make it cool, make it engaging.
fantastic. So in the chat, because we're not in real time. I'm sorry, for some reason the chats are not coming through on the StreamYard. I don't know what's going on today, but people are sending me kind of like what's going on the chat. There's questions. Do you offer services to businesses or individual specifically? And then Leroux says, yes, that is possible. And then Andres like, thank you, congratulations. And then Garcia Tobar Dominique says, Discord channel sounds great. How do we join? How can you share the link? All right. So yes, definitely we can share the link. Do you have a vanity link or do you have
Yeah,
a normal?
I just shared it. I just opened YouTube on another tab and shared it. So it's always at discord.hacktoria.com. Whatever happens, that'll work. That'll get you to our Discord server.
Perfect. So there you can join the Discord server as well. Maybe that's a good idea. I should just join the other live and then just mute it in there and then see the questions that our people are asking.
Yeah, I just opened YouTube in another tab and muted it.
Okay, fantastic. I'll do that as well. So okay, so for those new to it, what is a CTF? Can you explain what a CTF is and how does it work in terms of the OSINT world? Maybe Joaquin, you can answer that question.
Yeah, so a CTF is a capture the flag event in which you have the opportunity to improve your skills, playing kind of like real life simulations of what an environment could be. Talking about OSINT, you can do a lot with CTFs of OSINT to improve your skills. If we put the example of investigating a murder, like Frank did that a minute later, you can improve your skills of social media investigation, of analytical skills of investigation, try to put the dots together, and also you can improve your geolocation skills.
Fantastic. Okay, so I got the chat now. Thank you for the recommendations and the advice, Frank. I got the chat and I can actually see all the questions and all the stuff. There's a lot going on in here. We have Andrew says, "How cool! This is amazing." And a whole lot of questions. So we'll go one by one in terms of the questions. Love to see you, great guys. Says Morgan. Hello, Morgan. I hope you're doing fantastic, buddy. Okay, so what makes Hacktoria CTF for OSINT challenges stand out compared to other type of OSINT providers, guys?
Frank,
why are you so special? Tell us. We want to know.
Well,
Tell everybody.
It's kind of in our approach and mostly in the people behind Hacktoria, like the team, like Vance, who is also in the chat right now, but not in the stream. So the people we have building this, like we all have, well, basically a massive drive to build stuff here, and our creativity and kind of the possibilities to see things from different angles. Because anyone can commission a developer to make a platform and say we have a CTF platform. Anyone can do that, but it's in that creativity and kind of our weirdness and in our interest in all these different fields that we can combine together with the story-driven narrative. For the past 8 years, I've actually operated an online magazine in the fiction space. So we combined all of that sort of like storytelling and creative stuff together in these CTFs. So it's really like we take this sort of game development approach to building a CTF. So we go, we go vibes and narrative and kind of the meta objective first, and then we built the hard stuff into it. And instead of going like, oh, we want people to do this very specific technical thing and then just come up with 2 lines of text to explain it. So we really go sort of like story and overall objective first before we dive into building. And then input gives a different output. If your process is the same every time but your input's different, you actually get something that's so unique. And I think that's what makes Hacktoria so cool.
Wow. That's fantastic. I'm looking at right now at the Hacktoria, some of the challenges that you have in here on the Discord channel, and it looks fantastic. You have so many, man, so many of them. So join the Discord channel. It's free to join.
Yeah, this is all the stuff in Discord. So if you go to the website, there's 2 buttons: for business, which is just a landing page, and for individuals, that goes to Discord. Discord is free, and it's our mission to always keep the consumer side, so the site for individuals, completely free. We want people to learn. We want people to grow together. We'll charge money to companies, but not to individuals.
Nice. I love your approach, man. I love your approach. We have a couple of questions, Joaquin,
Mhm.
Frank. How long did you start in cybersecurity? How long have you been in cybersecurity? Why did you guys do it? And what motivated you to start in this fascinating career of cybersecurity? This is from Eduardo.
Oh.
What can you say about that?
Well, I mean, I started on cybersecurity for about 6 years ago, 7 years now. My motivation of starting on cybersecurity was the movie Hackers.
Nice. I
Like a
love
lot
that
of
movie,
people,
man.
Hack the Planets. So yeah, I mean, that was my motivation since I've been 12 years old, being on the dark web and sort of places like that. Getting my skills and stability transfers from those forums. And I started on IT. I working on IT. My background is starting on IT. I started working on IT, then I go to cybersecurity, the fear, and that's it.
Fantastic. I have another question here from Luis El Curioso. He says, "Who works on the narratives? Do they do them themselves by hand, or do they ask artificial intelligence and ChatGPT now?"
No, it's all handmade. Like all the stories basically is the stuff we come up with, and that's the fun part. Like a lot of these older challenges were actually part of how Hacktoria started was a monthly story driven CTF. So the idea was that the players would do the CTF and that would advance the narrative for next month. So it was continuously building upon the storyline. We eventually left that part, but there's so much like lore in here, like the little alien bot in there, Klungonjin. He was a character in one of the April Fool CTFs, and the community really liked him, so we kept him in there. We developed a language for him. You can learn his language and like actually decipher it in Klungonjin Returns. So he has his own language. He has his own lore. You can ask him questions in Discord, and he will actually talk about it. There are certain characters that have been brought over from different secret organizations we've built out. So there's a lot of lore behind this, and that's what we want to keep going also in a couple of larger new CTFs we're building. So yeah, it's not AI generated, like it's actual storytelling with a
Yes,
lot of depth behind it.
Yeah, or mine is
fantastic.
crazy. Yeah, so or mine is actually crazy. So yeah, it's not AI.
Fantastic. You can see here the chats. Now I'm actually displaying it on online. So I have a couple of questions here. So one from Diego. He asks, "Awesome, Frank. Do you have any background on Dungeons and Dragons or Mordheim? I think those are the best role playing games. I am more of a board game player. D and
Not
D at all?
really, actually, the biggest inspiration for Hectoria actually comes from the Hitman games. That's
Oh yeah.
originally like our CTS were called contracts, and that's what they're called in Hitman as well. So it's kind of based on this on the ICA, this agency they have in Hitman. That's where the biggest inspiration
Oh,
came.
Hitman is such a good game, man. I love it. I love it. And then LaRue says, Luis, we mostly write all of our challenges by hand. So he's answering the question. So thank you so
Oh,
much. I see that LaRue is from your team and he's actually answering questions in there. We have something from Bright. He says, thank you for this great channel to keep us updated in cybersecurity world. My question is, how can OSINT be applied to identify cyber threats or vulnerabilities? That's very interesting. Tell us, how can that be applied?
Well, there. Let me just think of like an example where this happened. Yeah, so we actually had a customer. It's on our paid site. I won't reveal the customer, but they, for example, actually wanted to use social media insights, for example, to predict all sorts of events. Whether this was, for example, data breaches, but also medical emergencies, like for
Wow.
example, the COVID pandemic and stuff. They recognized that a lot of those signals might happen first already on social media. Like, what's the first place people start talking about something is usually like Twitter or X, before you actually see something like happening. Like, if you think there's a large DDoS attack happening, you will on social media hear people in certain communities start complaining, like, "Hey, having this outage. Like, what happened? Who the hell pushed the production?" So you can see an uptick in signals, and then go like, "Hey, this is so many system administrators complaining that they can't access Amazon or what." Perhaps a DDoS attack is starting. even before it goes on to the Amazon status
Yes.
page or whatever. So a lot of this stuff happening on social media, these early warning signals, can be used for a whole variety of things.
Fantastic. Amazing that how you're automating and you're kind of predicting what's going on in terms of vulnerabilities just by looking at the current state of the of OSINT and different companies and stuff like that. Very good question. Thank you so much, Bright, for that question. We have a question from Alexander Kaya. He says, "Sound interesting. What are your target clients? How do a regular client looks like?" Very good question.
Yeah, so one of the customers we had actually was the government of Canada. They're a reference case on the website, the Public Health Authority of Canada. So that's, for example, a customer, and a lot of times it's companies that just want to train their teams. So it's, for example, the CTO or people in charge of the IT department. Our target customer is the person who actually gets called out of bed when there's a data breach, because they have the biggest interest in actually keeping the organization safe. The people pushing the papers and holding the pens like I'm holding now, those are the people that just tick the box like, yes, we are secure, we are compliant, whatever. That's not our target. Our target is the people that actually want to keep the organization secure, and we work with them to actually make challenges that are worth doing.
Fantastic. I have a question in here. Somebody who's never done this type of stuff, they might be scared, they might be kind of shy, like, I don't want to really get into like a huge community. And what happens? Okay, so here's the thing. I belong to a few groups in Facebook, right? And there are other, like penetration testing or Linux or programming and everything that I do that I love, right? And I'm involved in there for a fair bit, commenting back and forth, providing my input, and I see a lot of hate, right? So somebody comes in and who's a newbie, right? Who's a newbie, doesn't know much, and pose a very simple or basic question and stuff, and people are like, okay, why don't you just ask Google? And they send you the link to, like Ask Google link, which is kind of like a meme on Facebook now. But they get kind of like they end up leaving because they are intimidated by people that take seniority, and then they take they get bullied. So how if I'm new, right, to OSINT, and I really like the concept of OSINT, and I really like cybersecurity and CTF and playing these games, what are some of the help that you guys give new people and newbies in your platform?
Well, on Discord, like we said previously, we are a non-toxic community. If you go to our Discord channel, we're going to help you no matter what. If I have time, or Frank has time, or Vance has time, we're going to be the first one to help you out. Our community, we have different backgrounds. We have from newbies to guys who are very advanced, but nobody's an asshole. So you can just go there, ask your questions. Nobody's going to shame you because you're asking something simple. Not at all. Because this is the thing, and this is why I actually love enjoying Hacktoria, is because I was in there too, asking questions, silly questions, and people just treated me horrible. Just
Yes.
saying, just ask Google. And I was like, man, I asked Google, but I still don't get it. Can you please provide me some help? And then I just ended up leaving a lot of servers because of that. So Hacktoria is a safe place for that. So don't be
Yeah.
shy. Please just come here and ask your questions.
So how do you deal with bullies? Do you get sometimes spam and like bullies and stuff like that on your on your Discord, and you kind of moderate and stuff? How's that process for you?
We generally moderate everything. We are always connected on Discord, trying to check if someone is trying to scam people. Generally speaking, we never dealt with bullies on Hacktoria. That's the good thing here, is that we never had someone bullying people because they are asking questions, so that's good. But yes, we are dealing a lot with these bot scammers and
Mm.
accounts that they hack it and then they just try to scam people in there. So our process is very simple. If you go to Discord and you spam, you get kicked out. No question asked. You just go and kick out. Nothing more. If you're going to
It's
bully
there's no like
someone,
3 strikes and you're out. It's just like
no,
you're out right away.
no, you're out right
Spammers
away.
not
If
allowed.
you are going, if you're going to bully someone in there because he's asking a simple question, kick out immediately. Yep. No striking here.
Nice, nice. I have a question from Marlon Kaya. He asks, "What security measures do you recommend for protecting your identity and personal data when conducting OSINT investigations?"
Yeah, use a VM, use a VPN, and use sock puppets. That's kind of like the sort of the basic layers of protection. Like if you're doing that, make sure you have a disposable VM. Make a copy of the VM every time you start, so you have the
Mhm.
full forensic chain. Like you have all the stuff during that investigation on the one VM to come back to. Basically, uh, make sure you have a VPN going on your main machine, and use sock puppets for everything. And if you want to go a little bit extra, since you're using a VM, just don't port the devices like your camera and microphone and stuff into the VM anyway to begin with, so they can't be magically turned on, for example, or some other stuff happening. That's kind of the basics. For sock puppet accounts, they are these accounts that they're fake accounts basically. But what you want to do is make them look as real as possible.
Mhm.
So really write down a persona of who it is, create a whole identity for them, and try to post sometimes to make them look alive. And because on the other side, you have people like Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. They're working really hard to get rid of fake accounts. So
Yes.
you're sort of forcing your sock puppet to become better,
Mhm.
not to get kicked off these platforms. But that's the main thing. Use sock puppets, use a VPN, a VM.
Okay, so can you explain what a sock puppet is? So people that are new, they kind of understand what a sock puppet is.
So it's basically it's just a fake account. So for example, you would make an alternate Twitter account that you only use to like investigate a certain topic. So actually, in marketing, this is done a lot as well, where people
Mm.
will, for example, if you want to look into the current elections, you might make two sock puppet accounts. One is a very liberal-leaning American, and the other is a very conservative-leaning male American, for example, and you follow pages that they would follow and you interact like they would. And then the algorithms will give you that type of content. And then you can sort of
Yes.
follow the narrative of both of those fake accounts. And that's basically what a sock puppet is. It's just creating a persona that you use for online investigations or to gain certain insights or whatever. That's a
Yeah,
sock.
and that's used quite a bit in actually the dark web as well, right? So you have the FBI creating soft puppets and trying to infiltrate gangs and try to take down. I don't know to what extent they are successful. Actually, they are pretty successful nowadays with all these ransomware gangs getting busted in on the dark web. So I have a question, or have actually a comment from Welshman. He says, "Hey guys, I'm a scam baiter, so watching is very interesting. It's very interesting. OSINT is super cool, and I could learn a lot more. So thank you so much. What is a scam baiter, Frank?"
It's basically just someone who like goes after these scammers, and they do different things. Like you have, for example, these call centers set up in other countries where they pretend to be tech support or whatever, and then they basically get people to send them iTunes gift cards as payment or other annoying things. And scam baiters, basically, they either ruin their time or they actually try to take down their call centers, report them to the police, or intervene between the scammer and the victim, and then make sure that they don't get scammed. It's very valuable work. There's some really cool people out there, like once again, Jim Browning, Pierogi, for example. Like they're doing really awesome
Hmm.
work. They
Yes,
were,
I
they were
love
an
him.
inspiration for me when I started Hacktoria as well. I still watch your channels, so it's
Pirog is
really, really
fantastic.
cool.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
both really good. The way they get scammers from India, especially, and they hack their cameras and they are able to see what they're doing. It's and then just like talk with them and stuff. It's and make them cry, right? So it's fantastic. Leroux says the sock puppet can be passive or active. Now let's get into the weed of things. What is a passive sock puppet and what is an active sock puppet?
Joaquin, you want to take this one for a change?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh,
Joaquin, come on, wake up, man. What's going on?
sorry, I was just listening to what they were saying. So, passive sock puppet is basically you use it like just you don't use that sock puppet very actively. You just use it for some specific times. For example, if you just post one thing or other thing every few months, for one specific rule, and then an active sock puppet is something that you use like your regular account. You just post random stuff at random hours, so the algorithm can detect that your account is actually something from a real person, and you don't get banned, basically.
Okay, interesting, interesting. Okay, so last words, guys. Last words. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating in this chat. I really appreciate your comments and your questions and all the banter back and forth. We have these two amazing, bright individuals in here talking about OSINT and CTFs on Discord. Make sure you join their channel. I think Frank has already posted. You can post it again, Frank, if you want the link to join. So join right now. A few last words, guys. Maybe Frank, if you want for people to join your Discord.
Yeah, like as we said earlier, we're just like a really chill community. Zero tolerance for like bullying or harassing or anything like that. We just want people to learn and grow together. And there's some fun stuff to do there. We have two 24/7 challenges, one for cybersecurity,
24/7.
one for OSINT, and they just continuously roll over. They have a scoreboard. That's a great way to learn. We have almost 100 challenges now for people to play. So it's just a really good place to hang out, to learn, and meet kind of like-minded people. So no reason not to join if you're into this stuff. There's a lot to do. So welcome.
Yeah.
Come over.
We have a few more questions, sorry. So hold on. This keeps on going. Keeps on going. This is the gift that never ends in here, guys. I appreciate it. So first of all, Welshman, he says, "Hey, thanks for reading out my message. I now use my baiting skills to research fraud for reporting. Thanks again." And then we have a question from Marlon. He says, which data sources do you find most reliable or valuable for conducting OSINT investigations? Very good question, Marlon.
It's a very broad question, though, as it really depends on what you're looking for. In terms of, for example, geolocation, GeoSpy, that has recently been released and being created now as an AI tool for geolocation. To use ChatGPT's words, it's a game changer in the sense that we had several CTFs that were listed as insane that are now completely trivial because it just finds it immediately. That's a really terrific tool. Other stuff, of course, the best data sources are literally just social media is a treasure trove. Just Google, just plain old Google, using Google Dorks to find stuff. That's massive. Shodan can be good if you're looking for IoT devices. But if you're looking for like a one source answer, Spiderfoot, maybe they renamed it now, but if you hook that up to a lot of APIs and a lot of different services, it's a very, very good tool.
Yes, Maltigo's good too. I use Maltigo quite a bit. Spiderfoot and Maltigo.
Yeah.
I have another question here. Boris says, are OSINT investigations legal? Do companies that sell personal information about you use this methodology?
Joaquin, you want, or should I do it?
You please, you.
Hey guys, I just want to make a disclaimer in here. By no means we are lawyers in here, so anything that we say, it is
Okay, so
it needs to be taken with a grain of salt because we can't offer legal advice to you guys.
I'm gonna go with this. So open source intelligence is legal to an extent. There is a whole debate about if it's OSINT legal or not, because we're only investigating stuff that is open to the public. So legally speaking, there is nothing under an NDA or a private disclaimer. You're just taking information from social media. So legally speaking, to me, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how to respond to this, but a lot of people say that it's legal and other people say that it's not legal. So that's only going to depend on what you are doing with this investigation. If you're using your OSINT skills to, for example, hunt pedos, like a lot of anonymous people is doing, it is illegal to an extent.
Okay.
So you need to be very careful with fake indoxing, because a lot of people commit this error of indoxing people and that they are not the guilty guys. So yeah, to an extent, you need to be very careful about who you are doxing and with the doxing skills too.
Yeah,
Exactly, especially if you expose it on public, right? Like you get information from people, and then you're on YouTube, like airing information out that is personal and confidential. And if it results into harming somebody, obviously that's going to be illegal.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
it's a good comparison. It's like it's legal to look into someone's window when you're walking outside, but then if you step into their front yards, all of a sudden you're trespassing. So it's
yeah.
like, like looking someone up online is okay, but if you find the information, as you said, and then doxing them, well, that's when you then get into trouble. So it's always every step you have to ask yourself
I mean,
and do your research. Like, hey, is what I'm about to do,
Yes.
crossing that line at this
I
point?
can I want to one thing. I working on a case a few years ago with a PI. We were investigating some. I can give some too much detail, but it was something about a country on Africa, and we were investigating some people who were behind a data breach. What we did was to use open source intelligence to recollect information of who they were. We had some information related to where they worked. We started with that. But the investigation that I had to do, legally speaking, was under a contract saying, stipulating which is the red line, which the police actually told me which was the red line to get this to the court, and which stuff I couldn't get to the court
Mm.
because this will be too much for them.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. I have a great question from Diego here. He asks, where is the frontier or line between stalking and OSINT?
Oh,
You have an ex-girlfriend or you got an ex-boyfriend and you start doing OSINT to stalk them to see what's going on and what they're doing and all of that. Where is the borderline, Frank?
Well, like OSINT are the methods and the tools that you use. But then stalking is the purpose. So if you are stalking someone and you employ OSINT to do so, you're already stalking to begin with. So it's
Yes.
like it's a different thing. It's like, it's like getting into a car basically. It's like when is the difference between like walking on foot or a car? Well, when you get into your car, the car is the means of transportation, and that same with OSINT. Like if you're already stalking someone, OSINT is just techniques you use to further your stalking. So
Yes.
they're kind of not the same thing in there.
Yeah, keep it real, guys. Come on, keep it real. All right, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciated this conversation. Was fantastic. And make sure you join their Discord channel, Hacktoria, today for playing OSINT. Thank you so much, guys. And next Friday, 12 o'clock, live streaming. Again, I'm Get Cyber, your host, and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. See you guys.
Cheers.